Sound of breaking porcelain cut through the morning rush. Coffee splashed across the marble floor, and every conversation in the cafe died in an instant. A woman stood frozen, eyes burning, jaw tight. As a young waiter stammered apologies, holding the broken cup in his trembling hands. It was just coffee, but to her it felt like an insult. And just when her anger rose to its sharpest point, the waiter looked up and spoke, not in English, but in perfect, fluent Chinese. What he said next would change both of their lives forever. Stay with me until the end, because this story might just remind you that kindness is the only language every soul understands. And if you believe compassion still has a voice in this world, subscribe to Echoes and Struggles so more hearts can find hope again. His name was Ethan Cole, 28 years old, born and raised in Queens. Every morning before the sun rose above the skyline, he tied his old apron, brushed the wrinkles from his shirt, and whispered to himself, "Today I'll make someone smile." He wasn't rich, not even close. He rented a small room near the subway, worked long shifts at Haven Cafe, and studied languages at night. 5 of them: English, Spanish, Italian, Japanese, and Mandarin. Most people thought it was strange for a waiter to study languages, but Ethan believed words could heal what money never could. Behind his calm smile lived a quiet struggle. His mother, a former Mandarin teacher, was fighting leukemia in a small hospital in Queens. Ethan worked double shifts to pay her bills, and every night when he visited her, she'd squeeze his hand and say softly, "Don't lose your kindness, Ethan," even when the world forgets how to speak it. That Tuesday morning, the city sparkled under the sunlight. Taxis honked. Steam curled from coffee cups. The world moved fast. But inside Haven Cafe, time seemed to breathe slower, until she walked in. Li Mei Zhang, 36, a Chinese businesswoman from Shanghai, in New York for a billion-dollar merger. She moved with grace, dressed in a navy blue suit that fit her like control itself. Her heels clicked like punctuation marks on the tiled floor. She was powerful, the kind of person people noticed the moment she entered a room. But power often hides exhaustion. Behind her sharp eyes lived grief. Her father had passed away 2 years earlier, the only man who ever reminded her to stay gentle in a ruthless world. That morning she was running late for a meeting. Her assistant had canceled the car, her phone wouldn't stop buzzing, and she just wanted one strong Americano to drown out the chaos in her mind. Ethan approached her table, smiling. "Good morning, ma'am. Coffee or tea today?" Without looking up, she said coldly, "Americano, no sugar, and please, make it quick." Moments later, he returned with her order, but as he set the cup down, his sleeve brushed her laptop, and the dark coffee spilled across her documents. A gasp broke through the cafe. Lena stood abruptly, fury flashing in her eyes. "Do you have any idea how important these papers are?" Ethan froze. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. Sorry?" She cut in sharply. "You're sorry? You can't even do your job properly. Maybe that's why you're still serving coffee instead of making something of yourself." Her words struck like glass breaking. The room went silent. Ethan's hands trembled. He lowered his head, humiliated. And then he looked up. Not in anger, but calm. He spoke softly, in Mandarin. 对不起，女士，我不是故意的，我只希望您的一天变得更好。I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to. I just hope your day gets better. The cafe froze. Every sound, every whisper, gone. Lena's face softened instantly. Her breath caught. That voice, that language. Her heart, long armored by business and pride, suddenly felt bare. And my friend, how many times have we all done the same? Judged a person by their uniform, by their mistakes, by what we thought we saw, instead of the quiet story behind their eyes. If you've ever learned something from kindness, comment below, compassion first, because what happens next will remind you why humility still heals the human heart. Lena blinked, her voice faltering. How do you know Chinese? Ethan smiled faintly. My mother taught it for 20 years. Before she got sick, she said understanding someone's language is the fastest way to understand their heart. Her lips trembled. For a moment, she wasn't the executive anymore, just a daughter missing her father. My dad used to tell me the same thing, she whispered. Kindness is the only universal language. Ethan nodded gently. Then maybe today was meant to remind us both. The tension dissolved. The noise of the cafe returned, but the space between them felt peaceful now. She sat back down. He refilled her cup, quietly smiling. And for the first time in years, Lena thanked someone, sincerely. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. The image of that young waiter, his gentleness, his eyes, haunted her. In her penthouse overlooking the Hudson, she scrolled aimlessly through her phone until something stopped her cold. A GoFundMe page. Help save Maria Cole, single mother fighting leukemia. A photo of Ethan and his mother, smiling weakly from a hospital bed. Her chest tightened. Without a second thought, she clicked donate. Amount $50,000. Message. Thank you for speaking kindly. She didn't sign her name. The next morning, Ethan walked into the hospital, holding a printed receipt with tears in his eyes. Mom, he said softly, someone saved us. His mother smiled faintly. Maybe kindness is God's way of answering back, son. And that day, for the first time, Ethan allowed himself to cry. Weeks later, Haven Cafe reopened after renovation. The walls gleamed with soft gold light, and right beside the register hung a new plaque, framed in simple black wood. Kindness is the only universal language. Anonymous donor. Ethan stood behind the counter, smiling as familiar faces returned. Then, she walked in. Lena, calm, collected, but somehow lighter. He greeted her warmly. Good morning, ma'am. Americano, no sugar. She smiled. You remembered. He chuckled. Always. They shared a quiet look, a mutual understanding that didn't need words. As she turned to leave, she whispered softly, this time in Mandarin, 谢谢你，愿上帝保佑你. Thank you. May God bless you. The sunlight poured through the cafe windows, and for the first time in years, Li Mei Zhang felt peace. So my friend, maybe kindness doesn't shout. Maybe it whispers, in the pauses between anger and understanding. Maybe the greatest conversations we'll ever have are the ones spoken heart to heart without translation. So let me ask you, when someone crosses your path, impatient, hurting, or unkind, will you rush to react, or will you pause and listen to the language their heart is trying to speak? Because the truth is, real wealth isn't power or money, it's compassion, it's grace, it's the courage to answer anger with love. If this story touched you today, comment, kindness still speaks. Like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Echoes and Struggles so more hearts can find their way back to hope. Because at the end of the day, what you give in kindness always finds its way home.